How about cutting human trafficking in the United States in half? Is that worth building a wall?
Yeah.
We're heading out, guys, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, it's very tolerant. What was that? So you're actually filming yourself treating another woman like this?
Yep.
Thank you so much for showing what the Democratic Party is like.
She's white and you're black and you're calling her names. Can you imagine if it went the other way? You'd call her a racist.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you're being a racist.
Why are you so racist?
Why are you a racist?
You gotta be... Oh, hell no. Crazy, man.
As crazy as you just walking up to a total stranger and cussing them out?
Stranger.
You don't know her.
You
Do
know
you
your
know her?
mom on Twitter.
I don't think you know her.
Caitlin Bennett, you went to Cat.
But you don't know her, so you walked up to a stranger and you cussed them out. What sense does that make? Do you know which one of us is going to look stupid on the video?
Which one?
I don't know. You tell me.
You have Make America Great Again and you're black.
What's that have to do
What
with
does that have to do
anything?
with- Are you racist?
Wait, what
Are you saying black
what
people
do you
can't
want to
support
make
Trump?
America great again? Like, ask for what? Like,
You're not going to find
what are you
sympathy
trying to
from
make it
them.
great again?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Like, was it great before or something?
Yeah. It's the
Oh,
greatest country in the world.
What happened?
I don't know. Can you
So
name
wait-
another country where it's better to be a black person than America?
First of all,
Name one
answer
country
my
where it's
question.
better to be a person of color than America.
I'm just asking.
I'm asking
is
you,
America bad
where-
right now again or something? Because you're saying Make America Great Again, like it's bad right now.
So
Is it
apparently it's
bad?
pretty bad if people can walk up to people of a different color and insult them that way and then not have any remorse for that. That's a problem. We need to change that.
Anything else?
Why would you treat somebody that way that you didn't know?
Wait, what's your association to Caitlin?
She's my friend.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I have something to say. Follow my Instagram, jmantella15_. Yeah, you already know.
Why not?
Why?
Because you just made yourself look stupid. Now, when we put it on our stuff, now everybody's gonna.
Follow me though.
Well, that's a good representation.
Sure, anything.
This isn't like anything. I don't want to attack anybody. I just want to know like what made you want to support Trump.
I think that it's more important to vote for someone because you believe in their ideology than it is because they share your skin color. For example,
Can you give us
Obama shared my skin color, but he did not share my ideology.
What's your ideology?
I believe in small, limited government. I'm
Can you
pro-life.
speak up? Sorry, I can't really hear you.
I really want to know.
I'm pro-life, which means that I think that killing babies is wrong. And I also believe that the best way to boost an economy is by deregulating. That means having the government remove regulations. And Obama did none of that. Obama made a ton of promises and kept none of them. America was not better off when Obama left office than it was when he entered the office.
So do you
Under
think Trump
President
is making
Trump.
it better?
Under President Trump, we've seen the lowest ever African American unemployment. We've seen the highest job creation under any president in history. We are seeing what we would expect to see from a person that is focused on business and not just, what did Obama do? Obama put men in the women's bathroom, okay? Trump brought us the lowest black unemployment that America's ever seen. I think the way that America is going to be made great is by not focusing on all of these issues that are not important and focusing on issues that really matter, like the economy, like bringing jobs back to America. Because at the end of the day, if I have more money in my pocket, I can spend more money on things. Spending money into the economy helps the economy. And I think a lot of people are too focused on, okay, well, what color are they? Well, when you only focus on electing people of color, you do a disservice to Martin Luther King because he wanted people of character. He said, I want to see people judged by the content of their character. I don't want to see people judged by the color of their skin. And I feel like in America, a lot of people are still trying to judge people by the color of their skin and not giving any concern to their character. Ilhan Omar is a perfect example. She said things like some people did something in reference to the 9/11 attacks. The worst terrorist attack in history, that should affect every American. Who cares if they're a person of color or not, whether or not they're offended by that? That should offend everyone. Because as Americans, when someone wants to come and destroy our way of life, we should oppose that. And people said, oh, we shouldn't speak out against her because she's a person of color. No, if people are not people of character, then they should be critiqued. I'm so sick of Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson claiming they care so much about black people when they've been in politics for years and years and years and haven't done a thing. You know what I mean? The family members of Martin Luther King support Trump. Ben Carson supports Trump. These are people of color that are prominent. Ben Carson is a brain surgeon. And they support Trump because they see that he truly wants what's best for America. And at the end of the day, the thing that will help black people the most is by helping everyone. Because when we help everyone and we don't single us out, then we're ending segregation. Because we're still segregated if we're all the ones living in low-income housing and all the white people are living over here because we've believed the lie that we need the government to survive. We don't need the government to succeed. All we need to do is work hard and we can move up. There's no country in the world that's better to be a person of color than America. And I truly believe that with all my heart.
So how do you feel about the wall?
I think. How do you feel about locks on your doors?
She asked you a question first.
Yeah, can you just like answer it without
I
asking
feel like
a question?
the wall is like locks on your doors. You don't lock your doors at night because you hate everyone. You lock your doors at night because you want to protect the people within your house. And this country is our home and we need to protect it. If you allow anyone to come across the border, and it's not just people of Hispanic descent, you've got terrorists that come across because because that's the only place that they're having. Have you seen how difficult it is to swim across frozen oceans into Canada? Can you?
Right next to us.
Yeah. So when they come here from other countries overseas to Canada to sneak into the United States, they have to go through Canada's security. Mexico is, it's not a very organized country. It's a lot easier to sneak into the United States from Mexico than it is to sneak into the United States from Canada. That's why we want to build a wall. And if you look at the human trafficking that goes across the southern border, if you look at the amount of drugs, it's a no-brainer. We definitely need a wall. Well, you probably couldn't vote at the time, but
Yeah.
if you could have voted, would you have voted for Obama?
Yeah.
And why would you have voted for him?
Well, I was younger. I was like under the influence of my mom, so I don't know. Like I was expected to, you know. So that's what you're
Because
saying,
what?
right?
Because you're black.
And is that what
That's
I just
exactly
said?
I'm
That's
saying.
what I just
And
told
I'm
him.
saying we should be voting with our minds and not our skin color.
I feel like it's not always that though. I feel like sometimes it's just
I mean,
you want to see somebody else like basically it also just like that reflects you personally. So like President Barack Obama, he had the same lifestyle as most black people. So and then with Donald Trump, you can't really see that because at the same time he was born different from what I was. He was raised different.
Do you think Obama had the same lifestyle as most black people in America?
Do most black people in America go to Ivy League schools?
No, I'm not just saying. I'm saying that like upbringing. Like basically, you look at his whole life, and people have connections to that. Like I'm not trying to say like the Ivy League school, but people like try to live up to that. And I feel like with Donald Trump, you really can't relate to that because his lifestyle is totally different. He had a higher lifestyle. Really.
So why did Obama say the American dream is to be Donald Trump?
When did he say that? Can you tell me when he said that?
Yeah, I believe it was in 1988.
I'm not sure when he said it, but he did say
he
that.
said it was 1991. This is Vice. It's a liberal media. It said, young Obama said the American dream is to be Donald Trump.
We weren't really, looking at that at the time. We were still in high school, learning about other stuff. We didn't care about politics. Like maybe now with the whole, maybe like Kamala girl, Harris.
Issue that
I know she's
we were alive for. Have you heard of police brutality?
Yeah.
What have you heard about it?
that,
It's a reoccurring
Yeah.
issue in the United States.
and basically they're getting away with it.
Who's getting away with it?
The police.
The police?
Yeah,
Do you know what the average insurance payout is to a person that's in an officer-involved shooting?
No.
It's $6 million. Does paying $6 million sound like they're getting away with it?
I mean, it's paying $1 for each family member that the shooting victim is like victimized by. I don't think that's an even payout either.
So the shooting member has 6 million family members?
No, as in the people, the family, the people who got shot by the police. That person is dead. Their family member. It was a newsman story where the judge or whatever gave them $4 and it's $1 each for each
So
family.
the police shooting people isn't necessarily police brutality. You do realize that, right?
Is that
Yeah, if you pull a gun on the police officer and he shoots you, that's not police brutality.
But they weren't pulling guns on them.
pulling a gun.
So,
What
so
story have you heard?
in multiple cases, they were in fact pulling guns on them, which is why they were killed. Name a situation.
Where they weren't though.
You're the one who said it in multiple
We'll use
examples.
an unarmed person. Michael Brown. Michael Brown had his hand on the officer's gun. At that point, even though it's classified as unarmed, he was armed. He had his hand on the officer's gun. Not only that, he told the officer, "You're too much of a," not going to say the word, "to shoot me." He told the officer that to his face.
It doesn't matter what you say. That's still wrong.
It doesn't
The police
matter what
shouldn't
you
have
say.
shot them.
The police shouldn't have shot him when he had his hand on his gun. Why don't you go put your hand on a police officer's gun and see how that works out for you?
Does not mean
Okay,
that the
wait,
police should have
wait,
shot
calm
him.
down.
He didn't
calm
shoot him
down.
for saying that. He shot him for putting his hand on his gun and attempting to remove the officer's gun.
How do you know that he didn't shoot him because he said that, or because he put his hand on his gun?
There were multiple witnesses. and they gave what's called a sworn testimony in a court of law.
Okay, how many stories though were compared
So
to that
of the
being
of the
wrong?
police brutality stories that were heavily publicized, only one of them was actually an instance of true police brutality. Philando Castle. Trayvon Martin wasn't the police. That was a random citizen that happened to be racist. That's not police brutality.
I know, but
He wasn't the
that brings me
police.
to another question.
And then Sandra Bland was not police brutality. She committed suicide. And if you want to say that the police killed her and then covered it up, now we're getting into conspiracy theory. There's no evidence of that.
Okay, so how do you feel about white supremacy because of that Trayvon Martin case?
How do I feel about white
Yes,
supremacy?
Do you think it is a thing?
Absolutely, it's a thing. Do I think it's a major issue facing America today? No.
Do you think it?
Do you,
Do you think it applied to the Trayvon Martin case?
No. That guy was a Mexican. Let me ask you something. Do you know a Klan member?
Do I know one?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're hidden.
Do you know any black people that hate white people?
Yeah.
So tell me, which is the bigger issue? Racism in general or just white supremacy?
I feel like white supremacy.
Is a bigger issue than racism in general.
Yeah.
Even though you admitted to not knowing a Klan member, but you know black people that hate white
Just
people.
because I don't know a Klan member doesn't mean I don't know someone who doesn't like black people.
Caitlin, do you know any Klan members?
I do not.
And
Did
you're
you
white.
know? Did you know actually there are less actual Klan members in America than there are transgendered people? There are more transgendered individuals walking around today than actual KKK members. And do you know the population size, the statistic, the percentage of transgendered people in America?
No.
It's less than 0.5%.
Why are you comparing transgender?
Because I'm showing you
We're not
that
saying we didn't say there was
look
anything
at
wrong
them
with
so
being trans-
triggered
Yeah,
when you
we
bring
didn't
up
say
one
anything about
certain thing.
transgender. We said there are more transgenders than there are Klan members. But here's the thing. Did you know that the Klan killed white people? A third of the Klan's lynching victims were white. So to say that white supremacy is a major issue because you think that there are white people in the United States does not mean that the Klan is racist.
Doesn't mean you're automatically a Klan member. There are still racist.
But you said white supremacy. There is a difference between being racist and being a white supremacist, guys. Don't throw around those terms and you don't even know what they mean. You can't just
Because you
throw
can
out the
be a
terms white
racist.
supremacist.
You can be a racist. I could be a racist, right? And I couldn't be a white supremacist. I'm black. But I could be a racist. Does that make sense?
No, because you're comparing.
So let me ask you, is it possible for black people to be racist against a white person?
You know, white person hates black people.
said what?
It's the same thing as
Is it
saying
possible for a black person to be racist against a white person?
Yeah.
And what
Keep
would you call
smiling every time we say racism against white people.
Because.
Because you are?
No.
Okay, well that's what I was getting at,
No,
because you
no,
keep
no, 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 no,
smiling.
that? No.
Oh, so it's like the white friend card.
No. I'm just saying, like, if I hated.
Because
white
if I said I have a
Wait,
black
wait, wait, wait,
friend.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
If I hated white people, I would have attacked you. If I hated white people, I wouldn't be around her. I wouldn't want to be around him right now. I'm
No.
smiling because what I say, most of the black community doesn't agree with me. That's why.
I would
Okay.
agree with her.
Okay.
On that. And yeah,
She gets ridiculed almost every day by her family and all of her other friends
Because you do
she
like
shares
white
the
people.
same opinions and ideologies as me.
And you're white?
basically my.
I don't know. I can't really tell if I'm
My,
white.
my
I'm
thing-
asking
my
if
thing-
that's why.
No. My thing is, I don't think that it's any more acceptable for me to be racist against her as it would be for her to be racist against me.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's incredible. I applaud that.
What was your answer to that?
No.
What was your answer?
No.
You don't have an
That
answer?
was his
Of course
answer.
not. No.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
No.
No,
How
I don't
dare
think-
you?
I don't
No.
think. I don't think people that have never had slaves should pay people that have never been slaves money. I think that's absurd.
What do you think about like professors that go here, white professors? They actually,
Put money in this jar.
for him, because he was black.
Oh.
What are your thoughts? Like,
I never really thought about it, but I don't think so. I feel like it's like with the whole I don't want to say it on camera because I don't want to be like.
we're not. You can say whatever you want. This is not a free speech
Okay,
zone.
so you know how I feel like with black people they like to live in the.
In the past.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not wording it right, but it's like, oh, because of slavery, blah blah blah, to white people, and I don't think that they should keep doing that if they want to like move forward, you know. So I don't agree with the whole paying reparations.
Because it's hard to move forward if you're looking
Yeah,
behind
they
you.
weren't the ones that were like, oh, I'm gonna lynch this kid for no reason. Like they're just like the grandchildren of them, great grandchildren. Like they don't have anything, especially if they aren't racist. They don't agree with their old like opinions and their beliefs and stuff. I don't think they should have to pay for their mistakes.
I agree.
I just did my research paper on the wall because I'm anti-Trump.
Yeah.
But
Which is fine, and we believe
yeah,
that that's your
I'm
right.
like 100% against him. But like after I finished, I kind of like agreed with some beliefs, some of his beliefs for the wall, and like what is it, the 4-pillar plan? Like that makes sense to me, and I hated to say it, but
How
I
about
guess,
cutting human trafficking in the United States in half? Is that worth building a wall?
Yeah,
All those women and children that are crossing the borders, some of which people were making a big deal about being in cages, those weren't even their parents. They were using family units to traffic children. They were using fake families to sneak children across the border.
I know there are like really bad gangs down there, like the MS-13. That like, one of the I guess testimonies that I read about, she was saying that this man would murder her whole family if she didn't date him, so she had to leave. And like they're that violent, and the women and like the little girls are targeted the most there because they're like I guess seen as weaker, and that made sense to me. But yeah, I hated to say that, but yeah.
So just because you don't agree with every single one of a person's policies doesn't mean you oppose everything that they do. For example, to say that Trump could do no good would be to admit that Trump is the devil, because the only person that can do no good is the devil. Do you know what I'm saying? So like there can be good done by someone that you don't agree with. Like I could admit that Hillary Clinton might have done something good for America. I can't think of anything, but I could admit it.
Yeah.
You know, if you gave me a clear evidence. You know what I'm saying?
I think this was a good conversation. I'm glad we came over
We
here.
appreciate you being polite, being respectful, and then voicing your opinion. It's not
Yeah.
easy to do.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared to voice your opinion. Infowarsstore.com. 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 Super Male Vitality, Alpha Force, Brain Power. You guys got to get your boyfriends and your husbands, your fiancés, you got to get them some Super Male Vitality, or else they're going to end up like this.